All right. Okay. Um, so animus looks like, right, is that a sample? I can't remember, but um,
I believe it is, yeah.
looks close enough.
It looks like the King
Uh,
Gambit one.
uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, makes sense for animus to use a sample. It's kind of hard to prep specifically for Z. But okay, we see a palafin on Z's side, and hmm, so I mean the palafin is probably really good into King Gambit into Heat Run, whatever, until Atera, of course. But um, yeah, I think it might come down to who handles Trick Room turns better, because both of these teams want Trick Room up.
Yeah, the Palafin puts a fair bit of pressure into this team, really only threatened by the Rillaboom. Um,
Hmm.
wow. Fluttermane goes down turn one. Uh, Rillaboom, break. Iron Hands takes the Moonblast for its troubles, and Kowtow Cleave goes into the Amoonguss. Does not proc a Rocky Helmet, so that is not on
Hmm.
that set. Um, uh, Probably
So
a
that Moonblock,
good trade for Z here.
uh-huh.
30% on their Iron Hands can definitely be restored later in the game. I would worry
Yeah,
about a fake out Kowtow into the Amoonguss this turn. Really don't have a good switch in for that. We don't see it though. Just goes right for the
okay,
Sword
just a
Stance.
straight wood hammer,
Spore goes into
sword
the
stance.
non-goggles or Lumberry. Um, so
Hmm.
more than likely the black glasses or leftovers. I can't remember
Yeah,
what is on that sample. And the Iron Hands is traded
pretty sure
for the
it's the
Fluttermane,
lefties, yeah.
picked
Yeah, I
off
think
by
with that
the
Fluttermane damage
Woodhammer.
on hands, it looks like hands might have been Assault Vest.
More than
But
likely,
anyway,
yeah.
it's gone. Yeah.
Kingambit in a bad position here. Switches out into the Iron Hands with the
Grassy
Grassy Seed.
Seed.
Interesting.
Okay, so
Potentially
that is definitely a change from the
a
sample.
body press on the Iron Hands, maybe,
Ooh,
or even just a Grassy Seed Sword Stance set.
yeah.
I could see that happening as well. It's in an all right position here. Potentially threatened by a special Landorus with a Sandseer Storm, but we don't see that clicked, and
Don't think we see it
the
yet.
Cresselia
Yeah.
takes a U-turn for its trouble, and Belly Drum is revealed.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Grassy Seed Belly Drum Hands. That's certainly a set.
Fluttermane is in a
Z did
very
really
strong
well
position
by,
right now.
yeah. Yeah, so we're
Um,
gonna have to see
Potentially
probably a
a
Terra
Terra
from
comes out
hands.
of the Cresselia even, just to confirm that Trick Room goes up. But it does not, and the Cresselia goes down to the Shadow Ball. Rillaboom back out, and the Palafin is also on the field again.
Hmm.
Probably pretty safe to just wave crash into the Iron Hands for the KO, as it just detected, and Rillaboom probably doesn't
Yeah, I
really.
think.
It can target either slot, but neither one really slows down the momentum here. The
Hmm.
Choice Scarf, though,
Choice Scarf Terra Wood
certainly
That's
an
certainly
option,
something.
and the flip turn not quite KOing this
Okay.
Iron Hands here,
Hmm.
as
So I
the
think that's
Landorus goes
okay.
down to the Drain Punch, and we see another
That is
turn
a
of Grassy
massive
Terrain
turn
Recovery.
for Animus.
So
Yeah.
Iron Hands not losing any health that turn. The Woodhammer OHKOing the Fluttermane here. Did get the -1 drop thanks to the Intimidate. However, I'm not too sure that that's going to be all that great in the long run, as it just switches out immediately. And we
Hmm.
see the Protect and the Psyshock from the Cresselia, so more than likely, uh, not. I don't see this Psyshock KOing the Iron Hands from 30%, not with the defense boost.
Yeah, especially with the +1. Yeah,
However, at the
honestly,
same
like,
time, Amoonguss
ooh,
pretty
calm mind,
safe to
okay.
just Drain Punch, or Amoonguss rather,
So we
safe to
probably see a
Rage Powder or
Spore here.
Spore, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not quite
And
over
the
for Z,
Cresselia,
but I think it would have been a lot easier if Z KO'd with Wave Crash or something. Either way, it's still a fairly close game, though I don't see, like, if this King Gambit wakes up soon, it's gonna cause problems. But okay, the Terra Poison from Cress puts it out of, like, immediate danger from King Gambit. So,
yeah, we see a
mm,
pretty significant momentum change here. Z known to run Choice Band, so potentially carrying a Drain Punch or a Close Combat for this King Gambit. And Cresselia,
mhm.
pretty safe to just keep clicking Psyshock into that slot. Even an Ice Beam here on a Rillaboom switch in.
Okay, King Gambit wakes up and
We do
protects.
see the Close Combat come out, and the Psyshock does 22% and no leftovers. So potentially an Assault Vest on that
Yeah.
Heatran. Notably, though, Terra is burned, so either slot here at risk of being knocked out by a close combat.
Mhm.
And this Cresselia in a pretty good spot right now. Not really threatened. Power Herb, though,
Power
revealed.
Herb Solar Beam. Okay, these are some
Oh my
incredible
goodness.
sets.
Kyle definitely breaking from the norm here with this sample team
Yeah,
by changing potentially
every
all
set
of the
pretty
sets,
much.
even maybe.
Yeah,
um,
that's one way for uh, surprise factor.
certainly caught me off guard. I wouldn't want to be in Z's
Mhm.
shoes right now.
Yeah,
Um,
so now
Locked into close combat and
Rillaboom.
notably slower than both the Heatran and more than likely the Rillaboom.
Mhm.
Not in the greatest spot here, more than likely locked into close combat and just switches
Well, to be honest,
to
from
Amoonguss.
from here, Cresselia just wins, right? Unless it doesn't have a move that can hit King Gambit.
Not necessarily. Yeah,
Ah,
23% does get the freeze though.
okay, that'll
That could
do it.
change things for sure.
Mhm.
However, burn could cause some issues here, especially if this Palafin can't get back in safely.
Mhm.
I imagine we see like a spore and another calm mind come out maybe, or a lunar blessing
I
maybe
mean, it
to
might
remove that
possibly
burn.
be a lunar blessing, yeah. But I mean, Amoonguss is dead if it stays in. Palafin is dead if it comes in. So one of these is gonna have to go.
I think
And
you
yeah,
kind
I
of
don't
want to
know if.
sack
Mhm.
the Amoonguss though to get Jet Punch on the field here.
True.
Um, because you are very much at risk of being unable to KO this Heatran uh, as you just get chipped away by the burn. Even with Calm Minds, you still have to take a potential Kowtow in a few turns and a Scarf Wood
Hmm.
Hammer with Terra Grass as well. Could be very scary for this Cresselia. Even on the resist, it's still going to do a significant chunk of damage. And Heat Wave, 13% there. Might still be
Okay,
fine.
there's.
It really depends on if this King Gambit can thaw or not.
Uh-huh.
In a coming turn, might even see a Jet Punch just go into that King Gambit just to get it in range of an Ice Beam in another turn.
Yeah, I mean the issue is like even if it does that, um, Cress has to just go through like a billion turns just to break through Heat Ran again, in which time Rillaboom can come and clean up. So yeah, this is looking pretty rough unless
I can't
somehow you can
imagine that
get
the
a lunar
Rillaboom.
blessing off.
I can't imagine that the Rillaboom
Ooh,
takes an Ice Beam.
uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right. I mean, I think
it
the
really just
freeze
depends. It
definitely
really just
won't
depends
get
if this
through.
King Gambit can wake up or not. And it doesn't. King Gambit wake up just thought really. um, yeah, Cresselia even just
The cold
25
fruit
from the drum
strap.
beating though. That's crazy damage. Does just pick up the kill though. Um, a little bit of hacks. How it goes
Well,
sometimes.
yeah, I mean that game swung around a lot. And so like the belly drum hands was in a great position, and then Z came and cleaned it up, and then the freeze was huge, and so
Yeah,
yeah,
I
very
think
interesting game so far.
Z played positioning very well this game. They did get a little lucky with that ice beam freeze on the King Gambit, but they were definitely playing positions very well. Just unfortunately missing a few KOs with their Palafin and
Mhm.
getting a couple of reads wrong, but saved by the ice beam freeze. Not over
Yeah,
though.
definitely.
That was only game one, so still potentially
And
two
game
more games
two
to
is
go in the
up.
set. Yep,
Is
and
it?
we
Yeah.
see a Grimmsnarl and Gudra team from Z here. I believe they've used this once already, maybe more in the tournament. Maybe with some slight changes, though I do recognize the general build.
Hmm.
And
It
Animus
seems like
bringing,
a really rough matchup for Glamora here.
yeah, not really able to poison the two steel types on the field right now. But King Gambit is in an all right position. A little afraid of the body press here, but overall threatening some pretty big damage with a Terra Dark Kowtow Cleave potentially. Um,
Hmm.
Landorus doesn't really want to switch in, risking the Defiant proc, uh, which isn't confirmed, but I would imagine it is if it's being led here. Uh, yeah, the Glamora really not providing a ton of utility in this matchup, I fear. Z gets the acid armor right off the bat. Uh,
Yeah. Three switches
and
on that turn, giving it pretty much a free acid armor.
yeah, and
Uh,
getting fake out on the field as well. Just
mhm.
and a
Oh
freeze
no.
right
Okay.
back makes it okay.
Okay.
Immediately thaws though, so not
This is
not
certainly
as
a
many
set
turns as last time.
Pokemon.
This Gudra does look to be in a very good position though. I have to admit.
Yeah, I'd imagine we'd see a Terra Water, and then that kind of walls Volcanion and pretty much everything else. Rillaboom can't do too much to it with those defense boosts, and it's probably shell armor. So,
Might be a little early to Terra the Gudra, as still at
uh-huh.
risk of getting poisoned by this Glamora.
Yeah,
Uh, no
we're going
freeze on
all the
that
way
one.
with the setup.
Pierce Kyle is just going for the freezes here, as they really don't have a ton of options left to kill this Gudra.
Hmm.
Pretty in favor of the Gudra right from the start, I feel. Maybe a crit later in the game, although I believe that this was shell armor.
Yeah, so there's the okay, very interesting time to Terra Water, right? As
There's
the
the
Rillaboom
freeze,
comes,
and it
and
does
there's
not
the
thaw
next
this
freeze.
time.
All right,
Back in the game. How many turns
this
will we
is
see this
gaming.
Gudra stay frozen for? 3 freezes in this one set already in 2 games.
Yeah,
Uh, both by the Cresselias. All 3 by the Cresselia.
yeah, huge damage with that wood hammer.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what item this is. Uh, okay, see
Goldengo doing the
double
first
switch.
boost here and gets the Choice Scarf trick onto the King Gambit. So no Swords Dances will be being clicked this game. Unless you can side knock off potentially with the Rillaboom.
Mm-hmm.
It is an option. Um,
If Rillaboom's carrying knockoff, but yeah,
and the
I
Gudra
mean
stays
sometimes
frozen
that
for
slot just.
another. Excuse me. Holy smokes.
Okay, the Kowtow Cleave doing a massive 9%.
9%, yeah. Or 0% after leftovers in grassy terrain.
Uh, yeah, so I really need that
Still
sword
potential
stance
though.
to start getting.
The two layers of toxic spikes could definitely put a damper on Z's plan here,
Yeah, for sure.
provided they stay frozen for a number of turns more, as this Gudra still very much poses a threat to sweep the as soon as it thaws. And Volcanion here at risk of thawing with a potential steam eruption or a heat wave into that slot. Definitely limited in what it can click this turn. And every turn going forward, really. It does get KO'd by the wild charge.
That is
Traded
big.
for
That allows
34% plus another
Lando a
turn.
lot more room, but yeah.
Yes, the Landorus does see a little bit more potential here towards the end of this game as it plays out.
Okay. So Volcanion comes in. There's a Terra Fairy.
Switch plus the Terra Fairy. Dazzle does a cool 28% before leftovers, 21 after
Thank you.
leftovers. And we see another turn of freeze on this Gudra.
I really just want to spam Moonblast into. Oh, are we going for another freeze? Oh, never mind. It's already toxic. There's the thaw. Okay.
Does finally get the thaw,
Well,
and Life Dew heals up with the ability, interestingly enough. And Kyle just drops
okay.
the forfeit.
Hmm.
Pretty
Kind of
fair.
curious to see
Pretty
how
fair
much
given the
Moonblast
position.
will do.
The Volcanion was really safe here, just
Uh-huh.
clicking heavy slam into that Flutter Mane, and only so many times ally switch can be correctly predicted. Uh, Gudra very threatening this whole game, even while frozen. Just staying very healthy thanks to the leftovers in the grassy terrain. Really not
Mhm.
threatened by anything.
Yeah, because like even when it's incapacitated, there's not a whole lot you can do to it.
Yeah.
Even when it's weak to Rillaboom, it has +4, +6 defense. Kowtow Cleave can't do much without Swords Dance, and so it kind of just sits there.
Yeah, definitely looked that Z had the favorable matchup in this set or in this game too. But certainly, game one was a little bit more close, just decided by
Hmm.
the Ice Beam freeze,
Yeah, definitely.
making it hard for that King Gambit to get any momentum off. Uh, a very Pokemon set, certainly.
A very pokey set.
Not
Yeah.
much else you can say about it, really. I'm sure both
Well,
these players
that
will
means. Mhm.
continue for long into this tournament, though.
Yeah, for sure.
They were X1 or XO, can't remember.
4-1, yeah. So Z moves up to 5-1 bracket,
And
Animus 4-2.
yeah,
Both still really good records, so they have a long way to go.
yep. That
Um,
would be our halfway mark of the tournament, as we're only 9 rounds. So as long as Kyle can win out, we'll see him in top cut, and Z still able to drop one round before being eliminated at least. So
yeah.
still lots of tournament to be played, and yeah, a good set nonetheless, given the circumstances.
Definitely a quicker watch than expected with all the freezes, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks for tuning in, and thank you for helping cast Red Zone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. GG's.